back on a KO boxing show with a special guest, Zach Hirsch, but he also goes by the name of Mystic. Zach, welcome to the KO boxing show.
Great to be here.
Zach, how long have you been around boxing for?
I've been in the boxing game since I was a little kid. As funny as that sounds, I grew up in boxing gyms. I grew up in the boxing world. Growing up, my dad managed heavyweight champion of the world, Shannon Briggs, heavyweight Jameel McCline, a multitude of other guys. He had his own boxing gym. I grew up around Emmanuel Stewart, Don King. There's a lot of great influential boxing figures.
Fantastic. When did you first realize your talents for handicapping fights?
That's a good question. I've always been a really good fight picker. Even for the Floyd-Pacquiao fight, that was 2015, so I was about 13 years old. I was with Shannon and a couple other guys, and I said, Floyd's going to win. He's going to be able to use the jab, and he's going to cruise to a decision. And no one really believed me. No one saw that happening. And when that ended up happening and Floyd won that decision, everyone looked at me and said, you're really good.
Ha, that's good. You've developed 200,000 Instagram fans, so that's fantastic. How will you be able to be consistent on your fight predictions? What type of homework do you do?
So I do a lot of different homework, and I only pick fights that I have the utmost confidence in. And that derives from not only the fighter's abilities, but the trainers as well. And boxing, trainers is a huge part. A lot of boxers change trainers. A lot of people are going through things. And a lot of times I actually get the opportunity to watch a boxer in person train and see how they're training for the fight. And I think that's a great insight on how their upcoming fight's going to go. And there's a lot of exploitable matchups going on. There's a lot of different key things in boxing that a lot of people don't realize.
Will you be broadcasting fights in the future yourself? Is that something you want to do?
Yes, that is the plan. I plan on doing some broadcasting with BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and maybe some other places as well.
How did you get the nickname Mystic, Zach?
It's a self-given nickname.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I love Conor McGregor, and he always predicts his own fights, and he calls himself Mystic Mac. And I said to myself, if he can predict his own fights where he's putting himself in danger and he has the balls to do that, then I can pick fights that I'm not even involved in.
Well, you've got the Let's Go Champ moniker on there, so you're Shannon's man. There's no doubt about that. Look, what fights would you like to see happen in the future?
Well, I'm really excited about this fight that just got signed between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. In my opinion, these are the two most skilled heavyweights on the planet, and they both have all the titles. This will be a unification bout, and I'm so excited. I hope it's in England at Wembley or something. They can really sell out a stadium. I think the fans will go crazy, and I think it'll be a spectacle to watch.
Okay, well, you're the guy that we come for the tips now. Who would be your tip once that fight's matched up? Or is it too early? Do you need to see training camps?
No, I can. That's an important factor, but if everything's the same. I think Anthony Joshua has been heavily underrated after that loss to Andy Ruiz. People don't realize how good Andy Ruiz really is. I think skill-wise, pound for pound, he's one of the very best heavyweights. He's got the fastest hands in the division. I think he can catch anybody. And I give a slight edge to Fury, though, especially with Sugar Hill now. His right hand has really been working well. I had the chance to interview Sugar Hill and talk about the things that Fury's been able to do with his new style, and he's so big. I think it works perfect for him. He's able to slip with the punches, roll with them, and he's hitting really hard right now.
What about Lopez and Lomachenko?
That's a great fight. Teofimo's a guy that I used to know as a kid. I grew up around him in boxing gyms. We used to call him Gordo, and he's a really hard worker. He's got tremendous amount of talent, but I see Lomachenko winning that fight. I think he's a bit obviously more experienced, and I think it's a bit too much for Teofimo right now, but I think in the future Teofimo might be the big champ of that division.
Okay, let's just say Mikey Garcia fights Manny Pacquiao. How would you see that fight going?
Pacquiao.
You like Pacquiao?
Yeah, I like Pacquiao for sure. I think Pacquiao is just so strong. He's got such heavy hands. People don't realize how hard Pacquiao is until he hits them. You see a lot of guys get stunned by his power. We saw it with Keith Thurman. He was able to knock him down in the very first round. I think Pacquiao is still a major player in this boxing game, even at his age.
Okay. What about Triple G and Canelo Alvarez? So it looks like they could be fighting a rematch or their trilogy soon. How do you see that happening? If they fight?
I have not. He has been looking lately. I think he's looked significantly worse than Canelo fights. I think Canelo's ascending. I've definitely got Canelo in the third match. And as we see in boxing, a lot of the time when boxers do close rematches, the younger fighter usually wins, and I think we're going to see that in the third match.
Okay. Are there any fights that you want to comment on that you would like to predict right at the moment that's coming up?
No, it's really tough because obviously the no fans, there's not a lot of stuff going on too much, but I've definitely got Fury over Wilder in
Okay.
that third.
And you're definitely picking Lomachenko over Lopez.
Yeah, unless I see something change, but Teofimo's still a great fighter who I respect greatly.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the show. And as punters, we've got to take your lead because you're always on the money. And keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure we're going to be seeing bigger and better things from you in the future.
Thank you so much. It was great being on here.
Take care. Thank you.